Right guys, we ain't done one of these videos in a while, so gonna do a little bit of ride and crypto because the weather's getting nice out here now, so I can start to get back on the old bike, start to do some more videos. I think the most important subject coming up that I wanted to talk about is probably the big trade that we've got coming up. So we've taken our first big trade, which was trying to short the top of the market. We were looking at a top between 120k and 125k. I messed up the first trade, so I think I started shorting around 123k, but then I eventually got back in around 110k, and then it started to look more and more like we were about to go into a bear market, right? So we're in that trade, taking a lot of profits off the table. Pigs get slaughtered. I'm not going to sit and hold and hope and hope. You know, you could argue that, hey, maybe we could hold this down all the way into the actual bear market, which, you know, takes 10 months. Then you've got to look at fees you've got to pay for that. You've got to look at trading fees, funding fees. There's always the possibility that they try and scam wicket back up as well, right? So imagine I'm about $300,000 in profits. Imagine being 300,000 up, or maybe you're 30,000 up, maybe you're 3,000 up, whatever. Imagine losing that all because you wanted more, right? So there's always the chance that 300,000 could turn into $1 million if I just hold it all open all the way down. But I have to weigh up the odds. Am I prepared to sit there and lose that 300k? Absolutely not. It might not be a lot of money to people, might not be a lot of money to some, but it's a lot of money to me, you know. So the plan is, I still think we're coming down a little bit lower. I am being a little bit greedy here because there's no guarantees we don't bounce from 80k, but the data indicates that we still have more downside to come, to me personally, along with the TA, the on-chain data that we're looking at, as well as looking at what happened last cycle after the death cross, right? Bitcoin came down 25%, and everyone is saying, oh, death crosses are bullish, death crosses are bullish. I mean, yes, in a bull run they're bullish, not at the end of the market where it's supposed to end. We almost had a cheat code, right? It pretty much crashed where it was supposed to crash in Q4, roughly around the exact date that it was supposed to start coming down. It came down. It was almost too easy this cycle for some reason. So first of all, you've got that trade that I'm looking to close out the rest of those, and I don't think I'm gonna DCA. I think I'm actually going to hit a level where I close them all out because I think we're going to get a very strong reversal. I think we're going to get a strong reversal back to the upside for the final dead cat bounce, and I'm looking to put very big long positions on certain altcoins, and mainly Bitcoin and Ethereum, but also certain altcoins I'm also interested in looking at. So got that big trade coming up, really excited about that. If I can nail that, I'm pretty sure that I can make $500,000. So if I get the right leverage and I get the right setup, I'm probably going to ladder into it. I'm going to put a 100k trade on and then try and turn it into $500,000. So then that will be around $800,000 from shorting the top. So we started short the top, we come down, I've turned that into 300k, and then if I can turn that into 100k into 500k, it's roughly going to almost be 800k in total, or 80k, whatever you're trading with. And then we go into the last final short into the bear, which that short I do intend to hold all the way down, and I intend to take no profit from that until we go into peak bear market. And I mean that because I would have already made 800k, right? So if I'm really confident that we're about to continue down to the final part of the bear market, then I might as well YOLO it down, right? Because everything will be repeating history. Everything we talked about since February 2025, down to 74k, up to 100, 120, 125, and then back down. Everything would have played out, right? So really excited for that. And if I can nail these two trades, absolutely life-changing for me, and I hope it's life-changing for some of you guys that have been following along. And it's not just shorting and longing, right? We're making money. We made money selling our portfolios. Bitcoin literally dropped what, 20% or something? 35%. Like, that's serious money. There's people with billions of dollars in Bitcoin, And you know, if they had have taken that call, they would have saved, you know, $350 million instead of holding and hoping. So you know, it's serious money. Doesn't sound like a lot, 35%, but it is serious money, especially for whales and OGs and institutions. I mean, even if you had $1 million in Bitcoin and, you know, you decided to de-risk, you just saved yourself 350 grand. You can go and buy yourself 3 more Bitcoin with that, right? And the date, we had so much data that indicated that that was going to happen. So yeah, I'm really excited about that trade. I need to get these 2 trades right, and so set up for the bear market, man. Especially that final short down, because that's the easiest short, because then it's really over. And even the bulls start to admit that, you know, okay, this looks like a dead cat bounce. And if you look at what happened last cycle, that's where Bitcoin really came down fast. That's when the institutions, the OGs, that's when everyone decides to get out. At the moment, there's still a little bit of hope that we're just having a correction and going higher. A lot of people are looking at the extreme fear and greed, not aware, or maybe not realizing that it's absolutely useless at the end of a bull run and at the start of a bull run. It's amazing mid-range, and I will use it to trade mid-range, but at the end of the bull run and the start, it's useless, because all the way down last cycle we were in fear and extreme fear. I think when Bitcoin was at 105k we were in extreme fear, right? So you know, it's been in extreme fear all the way down to 80k, and if you used it to take a long position, you got liquidated, right? Everyone was saying extreme fear, I'm taking longs, I'm getting in longs here. I mean, you got liquidated multiple times if you use that, and you know, it's not good to use it at the end of the cycle. So I'm disregarding it for now. Look, will I look at it in the start of the bull? I'll look at it a little bit, you know, for confluence, but I won't put much weight to it until we get into the mid-range. So yeah, those are the 2 shorts I'm looking at right now. Let me know what your targets are. The short down is going to be a lot easier than the move to the upside. So the short down will be so much easier. It's the long that's going to be very difficult. It's the trying to time that long, trying to get that right. When we come down into the 70s, there's multiple different levels that it can bounce off, and it's just going to be a case of, people say, what level are you long in? What level are you long in? It's just going to be a case of looking at the data on the time, looking at the smart money, tracking Pantera, tracking Wintermute, tracking Galaxy Digital, like the insiders who are managing billions of dollars in crypto. These are the guys who know what's going on. These are the guys who know what's going to happen with the charts, the prices, the market. And when they start to flip, if we go into a real capitulation in the 70s, right, we go into extreme panic, because we're in extreme fear right now, but I think we're going to see extreme panic, and I see the smart money starting to long, starting to buy. That's when I'm really interested, right, as well as our other indicators. We can flick on the 15-minute SMC bot, and when we're in that capitulation zone, we can flick on the bot and then try and go in for that first reversal. You know, when we've been doing live streams and we're taking long positions, do you remember UNH? When UNH was crashing, it was free falling, and we were looking to take a long. We just kept waiting for the SMC bot to flag a buy. I think we were on the 5-minute or the 15-minute time frame, and I think when that SMC bot flags a buy, and we've got all of the other indicators like the smart money are starting to position, people are starting to close their shorts, or retail actually might be getting into more shorts, is something we need to be cautious of. Retail might be opening more shorts. That's when I'm going to strike. And leverage and amounts, I don't know whether I'm going to ladder in. I don't know whether I'm going to put a very large amount just in one shot, or whether I'm going to ladder in. I'm probably going to ladder in, because then you've got a safety net, right? If you enter too early and it keeps crashing, because sometimes you go into disbelief, right? I think that's where we need to get to in this next crash. We need to get to disbelief. We're not quite there yet. You know, when you look at the charts, you're like, how is this even possible? That's usually the bottom. and I don't think we're there. I still see a lot of people talking about extreme fear and greed. I'm buying. A lot of people have keep saying liquidity above, mate. There's been liquidity above since 125k, and you're still saying liquidity above at 80k. There's always going to be liquidity above in a bear market. There's always going to be liquidity below in a bull run, right? Someone long Bitcoin at 16k, and they were liquidity below all the way up for 2 years, 3 years. There's always going to be liquidity somewhere. So yeah, those are the two trades I'm looking at. Guys, none of the information in this video is financial advice. Do your own research. Investing in crypto is highly risky. You can lose all your money investing in anything, so always do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. That's pretty much it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you want to stay up to date with my videos, and you want to stay up to date with my trades and my calls, and if you want to see my next calls, head over to my X, my Twitter. You can see it at the end of my videos, and there's a Discord link. There's a link there on my Twitter to jump in with us and get involved and get in the group. You can see all my leverage trades, all my stocks that I'm buying. My stock strategy is a little bit different. Actually, we'll do that in the next video. We'll talk about the stock strategy. Yeah, you can see all the stocks I'm getting into, all the cryptos I'm getting into, my leverage trades. And most importantly, when I plan to buy in the bear market, when I start taking bear market buys, you guys will be able to see those. All right, that's it for now, guys. Catch you in the next one.